What is up, everyone? Circon here, bringing you guys another video. This time around, we're taking a look at a couple of tanks that have been added to the test server and a couple of tanks that have been added to the super test that may indicate some new reward tanks. Now, we all know the personal reward missions. Well, do we all still know the personal reward missions? Because, goddamn, it's been like, what, 3 years? 2 years? It's been a long time coming. My god, I hope after this batch, if this is the batch of reward vehicles, or at least a sample of them, that we actually have like a year to complete it and then we get new tanks again or something like that. This has been far too long if you ask me. Anyway, like I said, I've done my missions like literally it feels like 6 years ago. Obviously it was more like 2, maybe even 3. And for the most part, I think it is a cool idea to have missions and then some of the missions were not very good, like, say, capping with a heavy tank. Like, who thinks of that one? But all they were pretty decent nonetheless. The tanks themselves were really lackluster. The T-28 HTC, the T-55A, the Object 260, and the Stug, which they had to give limited matchmaking after a while because it was that shit. So, yeah, not the best of tanks, right? The 260 is the only one that is somewhat competitive. Even the tier 9 is not that great because the T-54, for example, got buffed in all kinds of ways. In T-55A, the turret is still really weak, and it never had a good hull. And you need to spend premium in it because it has 201 base spin. So, a lot of issues, right? Basically, 3 tanks not worth it. The last one, is it really worth all the hassle? Probably not. But you did get a lot of women crew, which is cool. You got a lot of extra bonuses, you got credits, whatnot. So overall, it's a positive thing, but it could be a lot better. So the T-54 Shielded is actually on the test server, and I wanted to give you guys footage from the test server, but guess what? The test server, as of recording this video, is offline, so I couldn't see it. Luckily, Tanks.gg still has the public test realm up there, so the Shielded one is there as well. So we can take a look at the stats and even take a look at the 3D model, which is basically a stock turret T-34 with added on armor plates. And you can especially see it on the turret, but also a little bit on the side, but it's mostly the turret that you really notice it. And I'm guessing that this is going to be actual space armor, but it's not really going to matter at tier 5, is it? It just isn't. Like, it's just not going to matter too much. So when we compare this to the regular T-34, which is in the first lane with the small gun, the 76mm gun, which is the gun you should be using, you can already see a couple of problems arising. And that is, yeah, you don't have the 110 damage, which you could have if you choose the big gun. But like, it has the wrong gun, basically, and therefore it lacks 600 DPM. Now, 2300 is a lot, 1700 is probably still playable, but you also don't really get any armor benefits. You have less armor. Yeah, you have space armor, but does that really matter? I don't think it does. And it has 50 more health, which is a pretty big increase over 450, like, let's be real. But really, does it warrant all this effort? Not really, right? So it has the wrong gun with pretty bad pen levels as well. It's 120 and then 150, whilst the T-34 has like 112, which is less, but then 189 on the APCR, which makes it so goddamn lethal with the little needle of a gun, right? So, yeah, a little bit lackluster here. Same gun depression and everything, but the gun, look at this. Dispersion 0.43. That is like unplayable for me with the reload that it has. Now, it does have good gun handling stats after firing and moving and trying to reverse, turret reverse. And so maybe the soft stats will make it a little bit more bearable. But for the most part, this is really trash. So will it still be a playable tank? Sure, but like it just feels like a little bit of a nerfed T-34 and kind of a forgettable tank, much like the Stug, which is a shame because I'm sure there could be something a little bit more relevant than another T-34, and especially another Russian medium premium is like, can we just get like a Czech tier 5 or something? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like something a little bit different. Maybe another Japanese tier 5 medium or something. Maybe tier 6, who knows? Anyway, let's hop on to the next tank that we're seeing, because this one, a little bit like less like the stock, pretty much, where you just get the same stock as always, just worse. The other one that got spotted on the super test. Now, I'm not sure if this is gonna be. This is the one. Like, I think this one might be a reward tank, right? This has the kind of the showings of a reward tank. This thing, however, I don't think this is a reward tank, but don't think they say anything. But I think the Daily Bounce reported that it is. I think, could be wrong there. But yeah, this is the other thing that hits the super test right now, and it's insane. It's insanely good. And like they said themselves, of course there is such a big as balance. Right. An outstanding feature like its huge alpha should be compensated for with something else. In the Chimera's case, it's penetration. That is not a weak spot, especially if this is an actual premium. Because guess what? You just load the gold. Well, it's not gold ammo, but that's how everybody references it. And you have 252. And that's the only drawback. That's literally the only drawback. It has decent-ish hull armor. Not great. It has good turret armor. It has good power to weight. It has decent fuel range for the 80s, perfectly workable. 50 top speed is fine, absolutely fine. 202 pen will be more than enough for tier 6 and 7s. And load the gold for tier 8s and some tier 7s. And you have 490 alpha. 35 dispersion is really good. 2.5 aiming time. 2.3 and lower is optimal. 2.5 for 490 is fine. And then 14 seconds of reload time, that's base. So without food and everything. And it has 10 degrees of gun depression. So this is going to be a haul down beast, right? I don't think that the turret doesn't look to be that big. There's actually more. I found some more pictures on the Daily Bounce. I don't know why they're not here, but hey-oh. And you can see that the model is not finished, obviously. As much as the T-34 shielded is. But it looks cool, right? I actually love how it looks, and I wonder if the armor of 203 is this entire block. Because this looks all like gun mantlet style. And then, if this is all 203 with barely a weak spot on top, this is a really good turret. Now, 203 is not super awesome great, right? Tier 9s and tier 10s will definitely shoot through it. But if it's all a gun mantlet, that's always awkward to pen, right? So it looks ridiculously good. Probably a little bit too good. But I'm glad we get something else at tier 8 for the UK that is not another Centurion with 240 alpha, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to getting something different. But this literally just beats the M4 revolver of the French, for example, by a mile. Stuff like that. So it even has 18 power to weight. So it probably gets nerfed, but maybe not. Because like the Polish vehicle as well is looking to be really fucking good. And I don't know. Knowing Wargaming, I don't even think there's going to be much changed. And they're going to keep the signature high alpha. If anything, they're going to keep the 490 alpha. So, yeah. I don't know what to think about this one. It looks cool. I'm glad it has something different. But I almost feel like this should be maybe even a little bit better. And made a tier 9 reward vehicle, maybe. So that the British actually have like a unique vehicle at tier 9. That is kind of like a Conway Centurion 7-1 hybrid kind of tank. Which would be perfect, I think, right? 490 at tier 9, give a bit more pen, maybe a bit more turret armor, and then put it at tier 9. That might be really cool, but we'll have to see. They don't really say anything as far as I can tell. I don't think they say anything if this is a like actual premium or not, but I think it's going to be premium by the looks of it. So yeah, but yeah, obviously not finished yet. And the other super test news, and this has the reward tank smell all over it. It's the Excalibur. Awesome name. The British definitely know how to name their vehicles, to be honest. And what a tank it is. It has a whole kitchen in the back. There's a toilet, a bathroom. The living room is here. I'm pretty sure it holds like 20 crew. I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, it has a turret and it only goes 180. So about roughly here where I'm pointing the mouse. And they're testing it in 2 different variations. And this really smells like a reward vehicle to me because it's so quirky and weird. And that's kind of what they tend to do. So let's take a look at the stats of the two that they're checking out right now. So it looks like a fairly big vehicle, and it has absolutely no armor. 25 side armor. You can literally shoot the bathroom and the kitchen and the living room all at the same time with an HE shell with like a 9mm pistol, pretty much. Which is pretty ridiculous. And artillery will love you. Look at this helipad landing. You could land a Boeing 747 on the back of this thing. And imagine artillery shells, okay? I can't, this is like, ugh, Arty City. KP2s will one-shot you. Like, you're gonna get so wrecked by HE. People that have played the IKEA at tier 6, or even at tier 7, but definitely the tier 6, know this feeling that once this tank is no longer too new, everyone will know to shoot HE at you. Now, we don't know how good the turret is going to be. If the turret is good, you might have a chance, because it has 10 degrees gun depression. This is the version with 150 alpha. It goes 50 and has 18 power to weight, but the traverse didn't seem too good at 35. And it has absolutely dick for fuel range, 350. So, awkward as all hell tank. I don't know what to think about this. But yeah, if the turret is any good, then 10 degrees gun depression, it might be workable, right? And the other version they're testing is a big old derp gun, where it has 70 pen and 450 alpha, 48 dispersion, 3.5 aiming time, 15 seconds of reloading, and still 10 degrees gun depression. So it's fairly unique to have a gun depression tank with a derp gun that is pretty much super unique. And I'm almost hoping to go for this version, but in all honesty, it would be way cooler if you could just choose 2 different guns. It would be really cool. Just put 2 different guns on it. And you can just check it in the garage. You can check which gun you want. It would be perfect if they would do it like that, honestly. And nothing else changes except for the gun stats. So it still keeps the 50 top speed. It's an interesting vehicle. My god. And I feel like this is also a reward vehicle. Like next to the T-34 shielded. But who knows? Who knows? Because as you can see, it's definitely not a model that is done yet. They still have to redecorate the living room, probably. It's like just insane. Like you could house 30 people in here. It feels like you have like 4 gunners, 3 commanders, and like 5 loaders or something. Like that's what it feels like. You could crew train your entire British garage in here at the same time, which would be a pretty cool, unique thing to do. Just like, oh, you want to train 20 crew members at once? Play the Excalibur. But yeah, anyway, all jokes aside, this looks ridiculous. And I don't know which gun I'm hoping for, to be honest. But yeah, that is all the new tanks that are on the Super Test forum and are on the test server right now. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. It's always kind of fun to look at these kind of weird vehicles. I checked these vehicles out on Monday already, but I figure I'd just make a separate video instead of just highlighting what we were saying there. We were joking around a lot, so yeah, hopefully you got a little bit of a better feel at the tanks, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, check some of my other videos out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.